Hey everyone, welcome back to OT Rex. This is an old video that I decided to re-upload. I wanted to put a little mini case study video together for you guys to understand models, theories, and frames of references a little bit more. Several of you leave comments and message me about the challenge that you guys are having in understanding all the different models and question why there are so many, which I completely understand. And it's just a lot. I get it. I feel like a lot of them sound similar, which I have mentioned in my original models and theories video. And it's because most of them are occupation based, or a handful of them are at least. And that is our realm of work as OTs. And it's very based on the person's motivation, volition, as well as adapting the task or the environment for them, which is really what I feel like OTs are wonderful at doing, but it makes a lot of these models and theories sound the same. So I thought it would be nice to conceptualize how I integrate using different models and theories and frames of references into my day-to-day work as an outpatient pediatric therapist. And I picked a child that I'm actually working with right now, and I built a case study for you guys to kind of work through with me and to consider how I use X, Y, and Z models during a 30-minute session. Bart is a 4-year-old boy, and he loves playing with trucks, fire trucks, and cars. He has no diagnosis, but he has difficulty with sustaining his attention. He has poor body awareness and sensory regulation difficulties and low frustration tolerance. So he gets very easily discouraged and shows a lot of flighty behavior and tends to have difficulty staying on one task for very long. He also responds very well to singing, and that can increase his attention and mutual attention with eye contact as well. So that's a little bit about Bart. And what I'm going to do is walk through a typical intervention plan or session and talk about the different models and theories that are involved in everything that I'm doing with him. So first, we're going to start off with a sensory motor activity to help regulate Bart, as well as give him more sensory input, because he looks for a lot of proprioceptive, which is muscle feedback input, as well as vestibular input, which is how your head reacts to being in different positions in space. So there are two activities that we really like to do, and he likes to jump on the trampoline as well as swing. But the only problem is he won't stay on these activities for very long unless you redirect him. So in order for him to gain more benefit out of these activities, what I like to do is sing a song with him while he's on the swing, moving in a linear pattern. So this is going to increase the amount of time he spends on the swing, and the type of singing that we do, he chooses songs, and that's motivating and interesting to him, so he engages with the activity for longer periods of time. So the swing and the jumping on the trampoline would be sensory integration frame of reference or model. And singing songs that he likes that are motivating can also be pulling from the model of human occupation, or MOHO model. The next thing we're going to do is relocate into an emptier or smaller room. And this is to decrease any distractions, especially visual ones, because Bart tends to get distracted easily. So by relocating to an emptier room, we're using the Ecology of Human Performance framework, also known as EHP. EHP focuses on the understanding of the interdependent nature of the person and their contextual environment, and how that's going to support their occupational performance. And there are various ways and examples that EHP utilizes this. So there is establish, restore, alter, adapt, prevent, or create. And this example of us relocating to an emptier room is an example of altering the context to improve the engagement and attention of the child. Here is a breakdown of the 5 fundamental concepts to the EHP model. Next, I'm going to set up the table for him, and I'm going to place a wiggle cushion on his chair to help Bart attend to the task better, and he will receive more sensory input through the little spikes and the buoyancy of the wiggle cushion. We are utilizing the sensory integration as well as EHP model again. For the EHP model, we are using the adapt intervention because we are adapting by adding the wiggle cushion to overall improve attention and functional performance. After that, I'm going to make sure that I adjust Bart's posture in the chair, especially because he tends to sit on the very edge of the chair. And if he's sitting far back, he's just going to lean forward and be completely bent over on the table. So we're going to push his back against the back of the chair, scoot the chair in nicely, and have his arms rest on the table at an appropriate height. And this is a great example of biomechanical. And a lot of times, if you look up biomechanical, you'll find that it is much more relevant to the adult rehab population because a lot of it has to do with strengthening and increasing range of motion. But you also want to consider how positioning and posture highly impact your ability to use your limbs and how that affects your task. So in this case, when you're working with children at a table, it's very important that you're considering their biomechanics as well as the ergonomics involved in their positioning and how that's going to impact their ability to write better or to engage with the task at the table better. So now I'm going to bring out a fire truck puzzle. I specifically chose a fire truck because I knew this was going to be very exciting and motivating for Bart to work on. So this is a great example of MOHO model again, because I'm pulling from something that he's motivated by. And I'm going to start off with the smallest puzzle I have because I don't want him to get discouraged easily by the fact that the task looks overwhelming. So by starting with something smaller and simpler, it's also going to increase compliance and motivation. And at the end, he's going to feel more confidence because there's a higher chance that he's going to finish the task. So what we're going to do is start off with giving him more support, instruction, and also more problem solving strategies to finish this puzzle. So you're going to be doing a lot more assisting at first. You might be turning the pieces or telling him to try to put it in a different spot or make recommendations like, hey, this one has a tire on it and so does this piece. So maybe they go together. And as the weeks go by and he continues to work on this task, you're going to find that Bart's going to become more independent. So what we're going to do there is decrease the amount of help and support, and that's going to increase the amount of errors that he's going to have. And that's actually a good thing because what happens is he has some of the foundational skills that we've taught him to understand the concept of what he's doing with the puzzle, and now we want him to make mistakes and learn from them. So it's going to help him problem solve and learn to generalize the skills that he's learning through putting this puzzle together to other tasks. And that is really the premise of the motor learning theory. I also specifically chose a discrete task, which means that it has a clear start and an end. And this is also going to make it easier for Bart to sustain his attention and also feel a sense of confidence and accomplishment when he finishes that puzzle before he leaves. This is going to be helpful because the next time you guys do a puzzle, then he's going to remember finishing it and seeing that fire truck and want to do it again. So that's something to consider. There are so many different models and theories that can fit into what we're doing here. There are several other models that are involved in doing this puzzle, and you can really add and build to it or pull out these examples if you think about it. So we're using the MOHO model again because we're thinking about what's motivating for Bart, and we're using the fire truck and talking about how there's a ladder there and there's tires, and look, there's a hose and a dog sitting in the front, and these are all things that he's very excited about since he loves fire trucks. And then we also specifically chose a discrete task, and that's going to increase his confidence for task completion. And in addition to this, you could also incorporate a little bit of behavioral theory by using positive reinforcement to help encourage him to finish the puzzle. So if you're clapping or saying yay along the way every time he gets a piece in, that could be a great reinforcement for him to continue if he responds well to applause or to positive encouragement. Or you can use a token board. And token boards are also typically customized or specialized to the child's preferences and interests. So I have several token boards, and some of them have cars on them, some of them have characters that children really like Frozen or Sesame Street. And these are really motivating for the child because they want to keep earning those tokens as they continue to do work. So that's a great example of positive reinforcement using the behavioral theory. If you earn rewards or tokens along the way as you connect more pieces. And the fact that we are personalizing them to the child's interest is also utilizing the MOHO model as well, since that is a motivation and interest of the child. So that is the end of my mini case study. I hope this walkthrough helps you understand models and theories a little bit more. And if you have any specific ones that are kind of giving you a hard time, leave them in the comment box, and I'm going to try to make another mini case study with another example and batch of models and theories. So thanks for watching this video, and good luck. I'll see you guys next time.